Just another normal day, another normal headline. Sesame Street puppeteer Frank Oz comes under attack for stating Bert and Ernie are not gay. What the f...
Thanks I get. Hello. I started this gangsta and it's the thanks I get.
All right, okay. Feeling a little bit sick today, but that's okay. We're going to plow on through. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. You're listening to Ethan Van Sciver, 25-year veteran of the comic book industry, illustrator of Dr. Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, creator of Cyberfrog Blood Honey, and a great big fan of this gentleman right here, Frank Oz. Does style matter? It certainly does when you're gay. But according to Frank Oz, Bert and Ernie are not gay. They're not gay. And if they were gay, would they dress like this? I mean, maybe ironically, but probably not every day for the rest of their lives. This gentleman right here, even though he looks like one of the Zodiac Killer's victims in 1969, he's not. That is Frank Oz. This gentleman right here, even though he looks like the image of Christ from the Shrouded Turin, is not. That is Jim Henson. And together, they are Ernie and Bert. Ernie and Bert, puppeteers. This is very serious. People are bringing these two gentlemen, even though this gentleman is no longer with us. He has ascended. This gentleman still is. He survived. And he is under attack right now. He is definitely under attack. Why? We'll find out. Let's find out why he is under attack, just for simply saying that Bert and Ernie are not gay. By the way, Sesame Street, garbage tier. John F. Trent, shame on you. Bounding into comics should know better than that. Sesame Street is spelled S-E-S-A-M-E. I know that because I watch it every single day. No, it's delightful. With my 2-year-old daughter. She loves Sesame Street. And, I've had suspicions about Bert and Ernie myself. I've had questions, but it's okay. You never know. I didn't ask, but it was answered for me right here in this article by people who should know. Sesame Street puppeteer and the mastermind behind Star Wars' Yoda, Frank Oz, came under attack for stating that beloved, again, garbage here, street characters, Bert and Ernie are not gay. They're not gay. Oz took to Twitter to respond to Mark Saltzman, who worked on Sesame Street scripts. Saltzman spoke to Queerty. Who's Queerty? I would like to meet him. Where he declared that, quote, without a huge agenda, when I was writing, Bert and Ernie, they were gay, in brackets, just one set of brackets. He continued, I didn't have any other way to contextualize them. The other thing was, more than one person referred to Arnie and I, that must have been his husband or boyfriend, as Bert and Ernie, his partner Arnie, that's the word. Saltzman would then go on to discuss how he saw his own personal relationship with film editor Arnold Glassman. He said, that's what I had in my life, a Bert and Ernie relationship. Is that right? Well, did you have a rubber ducky? Did you torment Bert, your partner, with a rubber ducky? Did your partner have a paperclip collection? Did you throw sheep at him while he was trying to sleep in his separate bed? In his separate single bed? I can't believe anybody stayed with you if that's the case. I couldn't imagine it. Why would anybody stay with Ernie? Think about that. Examine your own life. How could it not permeate? The things that would tick off Arnie would be the things that would tick off Bert. How could it not? I would say that I would never have said to the head writer, oh, I'm writing this is my partner and me. Frank Oz responded, declaring Bert and Ernie are not gay. He would go on to question. It seems Mr. Mark Saltzman was asked if Bert and Ernie are gay. No, he would say, it seems Mr. I can't do the Yoda voice. We got to get the Yoda guy in here. Got to get the, who's that guy who does the Yoda YouTube channel where Yoda is profane? We got to get him in here. He could have done this for me. It seems Mr. Mark Saltzman was asked if Bert and Ernie are gay. It's fine that he feels that they are. They are not, of course. Frank Oz says they're not. They told him. But why that question? Why? Does it really matter? Why the need to define people as only gay when there's a whole spectrum of things that you can be? You could be pansexual, like Lando Calrissian. You don't need to just be gay. You could enjoy the rainbow. There's so much more to a human being than just straightness or gayness. Is there really? I'm not so sure. Tom Spillman says, why are they not? Not arguing, just wondering. He said he wrote from that point of view. Well, because Frank Oz, drunken pass one night at one of the puppets. Because Frank Oz knows because he keeps them both in a closet. He knows for sure. Let me ask you something, Frank Oz. How about Grover? Is he gay? I don't think he is gay. He showed way too much interest in a little, I don't know, she was like 15-year-old gymnast in this one episode of Sesame Street I saw the other day. She was like, I'm going to do 5 somersaults or cartwheels. I'm going to do 5 cartwheels. And she's wearing like a little leotard. She does 5 cartwheels, and Grover is so overwhelmed by the sight of a 15-year-old in a leotard spread-eagled in midair that I swear to God this is true, he whips out a camera. Grover whips out a camera, and he doesn't finish counting to 5. He's supposed to go 1, 2, 3, 4. He doesn't do that. He goes, oh my God, rah, 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 and he starts taking pictures of her. I've never seen anything like it. Grover might have problems. I don't think Grover is gay, though. Frank Oz, I created Bert. I know what and who he is. Yeah. There you go. There you have it. He knows. He knows. That's when Oz came under attack with a number of people implying that he hates gay people. Uh-oh. How does he feel about gay puppets, though? How does he feel about gay puppets? Reed Bryce says, you may have created him, but you don't seem to realize or appreciate what he means to thousands of little boys growing up. He doesn't mean anything. He's a nuisance. He's annoying. Bert is annoying. Bert is square. He doesn't mean anything to little boys. You digging in your heels? People like Ernie, though, because Ernie torments Bert. Bert is a square. Bert is boring. Ernie throws stuff at his face, and then Bert gets angry and goes, arr! He's got a unibrow. He's got a little tuft of black hair on the top of his head. What are you kidding me? You think that Bert, nobody wants to be Bert. Nobody looks at Bert and goes, that's important to me. Nobody. Not a single person. They're all looking at Elmo and going, I hope that's not me. But it is. And that's the problem. You digging in your heels and wrongly conflating romantic orientation with sexual orientation with what seems like disgust is abjectly disappointing. That is right. Frank Oz says, how odd you see my feelings as disgust. Now that is Yoda. That is Yoda right there. How odd you see my feelings as disgust. That was pretty good. That wasn't so bad. I could probably do better. Just give me a little time to practice. If you aren't disgusted, why do you care so much about this? Says Nem, Celestial Madonna. Come on, Frank, just say it. I hate the gays. It's right there, man. Come on, say it. You know you want to. Celestial Madonna. Well, let's take Nem and just put her in the trebuchet then, and just fling her into the universe. If you want to be a Celestial Madonna, Frank goes, what? What? I love this. That is dialogue that should be read by Bert. Could also be read by Grover. Would it be read by Yoda? I can't picture Yoda. By the way, hearts are at 720 now. He's got 720 hearts. People are slowly abandoning Frank Oz. At first, okay, let's go back. Let's see people abandon Frank Oz. 6,681 people are like, yeah, well, they're not gay. And he's like, oh, okay, that's fine. He's like, I created Bert. I know he's not gay. 1,400. So basically, 80% of people depart from him at that point. They're like, okay, I'm staying out of this. How odd that you see. Okay, we split that number in half. Now we've got 814 people. What? The temper tantrum. 720 people are still with you, Frank. Still with you. He says, I don't think I stuttered, my man. Says Nem. This is how SJWs talk. They say, my dude, my man. And they're disrespectful, extremely disrespectful. This is Frank Oz. This man is a genius. He's a cultural giant. He created Bert. He created, did he create Ernie? I don't know how you create, somebody, I guess he created Bert, and then somebody else created Ernie, and they were like peanut butter and jelly. That's perfect. Or he also created Yoda, and he also probably created Grover, but nobody wants to give him credit for Super Grover. Nobody cares. He said, I'm so sorry. Look at this, numbers just dropping, people fleeing. This is how it is. It's like when SJWs swarm, people start to peel off and they go, oh, I better abandon ship here. I'm so sorry. You've experienced, no D, they're garbage here, so many painful experiences in your life just because of your sexuality. It must have been. It seems it still is hurting you deeply and understandably, creating a rage in you because you're being an asshole. Excuse my language. I take that back. You're being a dickhead. No, that's no better. Because you're being mean and rude. You are right. People need to accept you as who you are. I don't think so. I think this person needs to be put on a trebuchet and flung to the stars. I think this person, honestly, yeah, trebuchet, fling them wherever they land is fine. This person's rude. This person's being rude and disrespectful to you and presuming a lot of things about you, Frank, that I don't think it's fair to presume. I mean, look. This person didn't survive the Zodiac Killer. You did. Look at you. You survived. You survived the Zodiac killer. You were in the car with your girlfriend. I don't want to make you relive that. That's probably not true. You probably didn't get attacked by the Zodiac killer, but you look like you did. Look, the first tweet from you, I agree with. People finding representation in characters is not a bad thing. Well, I don't know. What if the alt-right decide that they think that Big Bird is a Nazi? Is that okay with you? Or is that a good or a bad thing? That the alt-right decide that Big Bird is a Nazi. I wonder. People finding representation. Regardless of whether or not that representation is canon. Telly. Richard Spencer has decided that Telly is a representation of Richard Spencer. That's his take on it. You're going to have to deal with it. Is Telly alt-right? Is he? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe Oscar is. I don't know. I'm not sure. Oscar's cool, though. Regardless of whether or not that representation is canon, for you to take that away from people, it's awful. He didn't let people find themselves in characters. It doesn't hurt anyone. All right. I'm asking you, please read what I've written. At this point, he's begging. He has gone from 6,600 likes to now 362. He's got just a handful of people standing around, frozen in spot. Like before, he had a whole crowd cheering him on. Now he's just got a gaggle of people that feel awkward and don't know what to do. And they're basically looking down at their feet at the floor as Frank Oz begs and pleads with this SJW. Begs and pleads with this rude a-hole. Please, don't call me names anymore. No, that's not how SJWs operate, Frank. No, they're going to beat you into submission and be extremely disrespectful to you. Extremely disrespectful. Look, I have multiple times, and the fact remains, they all talk the same. They all, I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's an a-hole machine that just makes these SJWs, and they all have the same program speech, but they all talk like this, and it is annoying. I have the Frank Oz jam. He's not feeling like, this is not a jam session right now. He's not feeling so good about the jam right now. And the fact remains that you are trying to take away perceived LGBT plus representation in a kid's show by declaring they aren't gay, quote, of course. That's pretty fucked up, Frank. Let children have idols who are similar to themselves. Well, I will say that if your children are anything like Bert and Ernie, it's time to bring out the belt. Frank says, you have not read what I've written. I'm so sorry you are hurt. I'm sorry you are so hurt. But thanks for the discussion. 357. Yeah, something about the way SJWs talk to you, extremely rude, frustrating. But you go, no, the language that you're using, I have to convince you. When you should just be giving them the finger. Frank, you should just post a picture of Bert giving this person the middle finger and saying, Bert should be like just a picture of Bert with the middle finger saying, I like the broads. Go fuck yourself. That should be it. That should be it. That's the only way to answer this kind of torment. Nicholas Rainville, characters often evolve beyond their creator's intentions, though. That's definitely true at Marvel Comics. That is definitely true at Marvel Comics. And that is why Comicsgate is a thing. He says, oh, come on. Now at this point, 184. So half of the little crowd that was like looking at their feet like, yeah, this is awkward. Half of them have peeled off, and Frank Oz, the great Frank Oz, has now been beaten down. If this were a piranha attack, Frank Oz would be skeletonized from his all the way up to his neck. He would just be a head going, oh, come on, at this point. The piranhas had eaten his entire body. Maybe he has one hand left with which to gesture. The rest of him is a skeleton. He looks like a cartoon of a tuna fish that a cat's got at. That's what he looks like right now. Terrible. Look at this. Oh my goodness. It took 3 people to do this. Yeah, look. This guy's actually had his arm up Bert's hole his entire life. I think he knows Bert better than anyone. As for why Frank Oz decided to speak out on the subject, he had a simple answer. Casey Spivey says, why do you need to define them as only straight? For honesty. For honesty. Well, honesty is such a lonely word, and that's why now you have 310 people standing by you, Frank. I hope you're learning a lesson from this. I hope you're learning a lesson. Oz would continue to stand by his original comment and defend his creation. well, you know. I want you to know, Frank Oz, by the way, that when you die, it doesn't matter what you thought. It will no longer matter what you thought or said here. In fact, quite the contrary. E.J. Eden, Tokyo Trash, what a brilliant name. It's important for characters to be explicitly declared queer. Okay, that's a deal. Because the mainstream will code them straight by default. And here we go again. He's getting a little more support now. He says, agreed, when a character is created to be queer, it is indeed important that the character be known as such. It is also important when a character who was not created queer be accepted as such. Well, there you go. That seems fair. But no, your tweet felt dismissive of those interpretations, which are extraordinarily important to a whole host of people that just want to see themselves as equals in pop culture. What is Snuffleupagus' sexuality? I'm not really sure. I got to think about that. Does it matter? Are there other Snuffleupaguses? Are there? I'm not sure if there are. It used to be that Snuffleupagus could only be seen by Big Bird. And now, I think Snuffleupagus is seen by everyone. They'd be like, oh, it's your imaginary friend. And Big Bird would be like, what the hell? He was just here. He's a big elephant. He's a woolly mammoth with a dinosaur tail. How did you not fucking see that? Now, I think everyone can see Snuffleupagus. And Big Bird is no longer thought of as clinically insane, which is what they were saying for a long, long time. But I mean, listen, we're talking about people who live on a filthy street, a bunch of colorful weirdo monsters that have spent 50 years and still haven't mastered the alphabet. So, I mean, look, think what you want. All right. It's an issue that extends way beyond Sesame Street. That's why people were upset. Frank Oz, continue to try to be conciliatory. I understand. It must make you feel very alone to not have Bert be gay. But please read what I wrote. I'm very pleased that people see themselves and others in the characters I created. But that does not change the truth of who or what the character is. How's he doing there? At this point, 255 people. Because representation matters, Frank. Yes, it does, when it's honest representation. God, this is painful. This is just agony. But why clarify if it doesn't matter? For honesty, again, such a lonely word. Mr. Smith, but if you took the words, they're not, of course, out of your tweet, would it be any less honest? P.S. I am among millions who changed for the better by your work. Just saying. Frank Oz says, yes, it would have been less honest. I would have allowed Bert to be labeled as something I know he's not. I wonder where Mr. Hooper is and what he would have... You know, Mr. Hooper probably would have weighed in on this. He would have given everyone an ice cream cone and everything would have been okay. But Mr. Hooper has left us. Why, of course... Oh, God, it's just torture. With these people, it's just torture with these people. Absolute torture. Okay, Bert is gay. Are you happy he's gay? Your puppet is gay. Why, of course? Why is heterosexuality obvious? It's not an automatic default. Being LGBT plus is something that affects our daily lives. Seeing LGBT plus folks represented positively is as important as a morality tale as a Christmas carol. As I've written, poor Frank, as I've written, it pleases me that people see themselves and others positively in those characters. The answer to why is heterosexuality obvious is that I'm only writing about a character I created and know. I'm not writing about all people. Oh my God. Bert, how do you feel about this? Bert hasn't said anything. I will tell you this, if Bert was gay, he would have tweezed that monobrow. That is obvious, case closed. All right? Thank you. Despite Frank coming out and saying that Bert and Ernie are not gay, a number of people began advocating for them to be made gay. Oh my God. The creator is saying that's not who they are. Don't be upset. Don't look for representation somewhere else where it truly exists. It is his creations. With all due respect to Frank, an artist whose work I adore, I don't think the character gets the final say. Whew, that. Oof. Or that the character can't be changed. If Sesame Street's current writers were to decide to make Bert and Ernie a canonically gay couple, I would be all for that. Sesame Street Workshop would eventually weigh in. All right, this is the final word right here. As we have always said, Bert and Ernie are best friends, okay? They were created to teach preschoolers that people can be good friends with those who are very different from themselves, even though they are identified as male characters and possess many human traits and characteristics. As most Sesame Street Muppets do, they remain puppets and do not have a sexual orientation. Yeah. Oh, God. How long does this go on? I can't take it. Oh, this was when Bobby Drake became gay. Jean Grey made him gay here. She's a psychic. All right, look at this. But, you know, what? Come on. She's still doing this. She's flapping. She's doing that. What's happening? Something's going on in his brain. Bobby, you're gay. And then Bobby was gay ever since. So, given the attacks on Frank Oz, it appears this agenda does not only apply to comics, but it appears to apply to general entertainment at large. I'm prepared to say that Bert and Ernie are gay. Wow, that is scary. Right here, this is something out of Twin Peaks. That is spooky, Jim. It's just the scowl on your face peeking out from underneath this childish, happy puppet. Oh, that is scary. But in any case, yeah, I'm prepared to say Bert and Ernie are gay. So Frank Oz, the minute that you are no longer with us, they are going to declare Bert and Ernie gay. And why not? Look at them. Look at them. And if they're gay, clean them up a little bit. Ernie's got to fix his hair. They've got to dress differently every single day. They need to probably stay out on Sesame Street until 2 a.m., hanging out and partying. Bert needs to trim that unibrow, as I said, comb that hair. Is that a fashy haircut? Or no? Is that a little fashy? I don't know. But anyway, the point is, poor Frank Oz. Frank, 134 people stood by you at the end. Those are your real friends. Everyone else in this whole conversation is absolutely insane. Join the Fandom Menace and execute your own Order 66 with our incredible line of t-shirts, Soylo, a Soy Wars story, Tico, a Soy Wars story, and our brand new smoking hot Soy Wars Plan 9. Make a statement today. This is the only trilogy you'll ever need. The link is below in the description. If you enjoyed this video and want to become part of this community, subscribe to this channel by clicking the laughing man face logo right on your screen. Ring the bell for notifications as well. You'll never miss a live chat. And stay tuned, another video by Comic Artist Pro Secrets is coming right up. Show your friends you support independent comics while showing the world who you back in the fight against the swarm with the brand new Cyberfrog t-shirt from Crypto Fashion and Comic Artist Pro Secret. Sizes come in small to 5XL, and take your choice of colors between navy blue, white, and black. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and order the Fandom Menace, Go Get Daddy's Belt, Tico, and Soylo t-shirts as well. Link is below in the description. You're going to look great. People love these shirts. They fit wonderfully. Thank you very much.